that you use, marker goal. Our presentation is all about marker goals. Could not have been a better combination of having us in the same time. How about you, Scoot? You're just getting used to this surrounding here. I'm going to have you stand right here, sweetie. That way you can see your friend and you can see the screen.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, my name is Shannon Meladeo. This is my son, Sammy. I'm an educator and a researcher for 35 years. Yes, I started when I was 5. We have a presentation today that talks a great deal about marker goals, and we're excited to share that with you. We love superheroes, and we know that parents, along with educators, are superheroes, especially in the field of education. So our topic today is all about learning to advocate as a parent, learning to advocate as a student, and learning to advocate together. So here's what we've got to share with you today in the time that we have. We are going to tell you a little bit about ourselves on the next slide. We're going to talk through a few of our marker goals. I'm going to keep using them all day because I'm going to credit you for it. And we're going to wrap up at the end with opportunity for questions if there are any.
This is Shannon Meladeo. She's my mom. She's a professor of education, across from many years solo teacher, elementary administrator, department chair, and associate dean.
You can hold it right here.
Okay.
Thank you. So yes, I've been in the field of education for a very long time, doing elementary education, special education. I'm certified in autism. I teach at the university. I've done a lot of university work. I've even had some crazy years when I was working at the university and teaching in the classroom at the same time. So maybe a little dizzy still from that experience, but we got through it. This is my incredible son, Sammy Meladeo. When you see this guy, you're going to be so shocked when I tell you about his origin. So Sammy's 22 now, and he went to school in the United States, and where he went to school, they had phenomenal experiences. Just like Dr. Iris talked about, having work experiences in high school. He had work experiences starting in the 9th grade. So from age 15 all the way up to age 18, every single year, he had classes and internships. After he finished high school officially, he then had something that they call STEP, which is another few years. He was eligible up until the age of 23, where he had internships every day. And he did classes and he did internships. So not only did he accomplish that, graduate from high school, he also completed an online animation program through Don Bluth University. Some of you probably know Don Bluth. He animated, tell any movie.
He made Anastasia. That was one of his moms.
Anastasia, Land
Before Time.
Land Before
the
Time.
only original. He only made the original. He didn't do any of the sequels.
He knows every detail.
He made like 17 of them, but he only made the first one.
He's worked as a movie theater custodian very successfully, and right now he is on a 2-day break from working at Walt Disney World. He works as a cast member at Hollywood Studios in Florida. You see him, you see this strong, tall, handsome young man who is presenting at an international conference. His start was not this. What he accomplished and what he was able to overcome, he always reminds me, Mommy, I am resilient. Yes, you are. You're probably more resilient than me. When I was pregnant with Sammy, there was a problem every single week. Every week of the pregnancy. You know how much stress, parents, you know how much stress that puts on you in your pregnancy. By the time I got to 30 weeks, he was planning to come out early. And so the doctor said, no, a little too early. 10 weeks of bed rest. Every week, still a problem. There's a shadow on his heart. He's not swallowing properly. His esophagus looks different. Sammy knew how to save himself, even in the womb. One of the things that he does as a person who has autism and Kabuki syndrome, one of his perseverations is he's a spinner. He spins, and sometimes he flaps, right? Is that true? Yeah. It's true, okay. In my womb, he spun very frequently. When he was born, he had his umbilical cord wrapped around his head, his neck, and his chest. And he saved himself by doing this somehow. He saved his own life. He doesn't know anything about that, but he came out. He was definitely a very sick child. And by the time he was age 14 months, we had a formal diagnosis on all of these issues. The first formal diagnosis was Kabuki syndrome. It's a very rare genetic disorder. When he was diagnosed, there were only 500 diagnosed people with Kabuki in the world. Now, and that was a very, very early diagnosis to be diagnosed 14 months. Now, the rate of Kabuki is approximately, they say, 1 in 32,000. I don't know if you can read the explanation about Kabuki, but it is like a laundry list of all kinds of unrelated, seemingly, issues, just like any syndrome. There's a great deal of midline issues, and Sammy was very sick all of the time. He has had 26 surgeries. He will likely have another one next year. He wears, one side he wears cochlear implant, the other side hearing aid. He's probably going to get his other implant. And in those surgeries, he was resilient, probably more than me as a mother. But he overcame. In high school, actually in elementary school, his IEP label was MD, multiple disability, because he had a very complex medical history. He had autism label, he had learning disability label, he had emotional disability label, and he also had speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy. He had life skills training. He had an opportunity to be in an autism classroom when he was in middle school, which was a great experience, right? In Herndon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he had that post-graduation experience we call STEP. Outside of all of those, all the things happening in school, he also had adaptive horseback riding, therapeutic horseback riding, and he did occupational therapy and speech therapy and so many therapies outside of school as well. He's going to talk to you a little bit about autism because that is another one of his diagnoses. You want to pick just a few to highlight?
Okay. Autism affects 1 in 36 children in the United States. Which one should I do next?
How about, why don't you talk about any 2 more? Pick 2 more that you think are important to mention.
Epilepsy affects up to 30% of autistic children, and 73.6% of autistic students we in the U.S. with high school with diploma.
And he did. He left with a diploma, and he also had epilepsy. So let me explain my math. Researchers understand that some of us researchers really love math. So the 13 is about in the United States, students typically go to school from kindergarten to grade 12, which is 13 years. The 2, if you are fortunate, you can also have special education preschool, so 2 years of special education preschool. If a student is able to have 15 years of education as a special education student in the United States, and they live a beautiful life to 85 years, that means that we've been supporting them for about 17%. It's not enough. Sammy was very, very lucky because he had 13 years from K to 12. He had 2 years of special education preschool, and then he had 3 years of post-high school graduation programming called STEP. So
I had 2 years of it.
you're right. You had 2 years because we moved to Florida for you to work for Disney. Yeah. And so still only around 20% of the time of his lifetime has he had the whole village, the special education teacher, the speech teacher, the physical therapy teacher, and good old mom and dad, right? But that was the only time in his whole life he had all of those people helping him. It's not enough. It's not enough, and I'm telling you, as a person with special education background and a professor who teaches teachers how to be special education teachers, it's still not enough. But what we were able to do, what do you think about that picture, buddy?
I love it.
You do. He loves Disney. What we were able to do is come up with a few of the strategies that we've used over the last 22 years of this long-term study and give you some advice from a parent of a child who has special needs and from him himself. So, I know we have to be careful of our time. Okay. So we will just spend a few minutes talking about these strategies that we've been using and talk to people all the time about using to help him and help me help him be more self-sufficient, be able to be self-advocating, self-empowered, and be his awesome self that he is right there. All right, so before I had children, I was an elementary principal leading hundreds of IEP meetings. I was having children in my classrooms with IEPs, and every time I had a meeting or we made a decision, I hoped and prayed that it was the right one because I wasn't a parent yet. I thought it seemed right. I always tried to think of what are we doing for this child? Would I want that if I was the child's parent? So I was, luckily as an educator, had that extra boost of empowerment because I had training and I had experience, but I hadn't been a mother yet. When I became a mother, that definitely gave me more confidence because of my educational background, and I knew it was critically important that whatever I do, I was constantly modeling for him, and I was constantly looking for different environments that would be just right for him educationally. As a mother who had a child with Kabuki syndrome, it's an extremely rare disorder, so I was the person always educating teachers, educating his physicians, educating his therapists, what is even Kabuki? This is you, big guy.
Okay.
How did you do it? Well, sometimes the way you appear to others, do you understand what it's like?
They don't.
Maybe they don't understand what
No.
you're thinking
No.
or feeling. Do sometimes people misunderstand you?
Yeah.
You just talked to me the other day about we have challenges that are invisible.
Yeah. We do. Both of us do. Not
Yep.
just me.
And what, when you're self-aware, what are you learning to do? You're learning those last three. Can you mention those last three?
Well, it's doable as possible to have an open mindset.
Always have an open mindset, no matter how hard that can be. After 26 surgeries, wouldn't you be tired? Wouldn't you be, feeling pretty closed on your mindset? All right. So the next one is about self-care, and I harp on him constantly. Buddy, you've got to always look your best. I, as a mother of a child with special needs, I cannot stand when I see another child with special needs. His hair is crazy. They have dirty clothing. Nothing looks nice. I feel like he has to look even better. He must always look the best he can look. He says, "Mom, I can't look perfect." Nobody can look perfect, but you can look your best. So, what are some things that we have in our house that help you? They're on the left-hand side. The checklist.
Yeah, the checklist up here.
Yep. Hold your microphone to your mouth.
This is the evening routine checklist that I have.
Hold it here.
This is the evening routine checklist that I have.
So we have checklists in our house. How to clean your bathroom, checklist. How to clean your bedroom, checklist. How to get ready in the morning, checklist.
Yeah.
You know, you and I probably do 50 different things just in the morning to get ready for the day, right? That's a lot to remember. So tell us about the example. This is your example of what your evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell what the ASIA is.
The IASE is a hearing device I have right here.
So he has to always take very good care of it. And that's the first thing that he does in the evening to get ready to go. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Another marker goal is about me constantly, continuously curating different experiences for him. We're not going to stay home. We need to be out in this world, learning about this world, traveling to Czech Republic to present. These are just a few photos from fun things that we do. Sometimes fun, sometimes educational, sometimes for camaraderie, to meet people. And so it's critically important for us to be out there. But I have to make sure I know what it's about, what these experiences are. I have to make sure they're safe. And for us, something that's really important is we have to always prepare. Talk about what's going to happen. What are we going to do? So some of these are small, some of these are big, but different experiences. And then repeat exposure. Constantly repeating these different activities so that he can get really good at them. So why don't you talk a little bit about these two organizations that you were a part of?
New York Cool Cats was a special needs hockey team that I was on for 9 years before moving to Florida.
And then what do we do with ASGO?
ASGO is what do you call it?
It's a club
Yeah, it's a club.
for children and adults
Yeah.
with...
Children with autism.
That's right. So, we talk a lot, he and I do a lot of what we call comfort quoting. You know comfort books when you reread a book over and over and over again. Comfort movie, when you watch a movie over and over again. We have silly comfort quotes that we say over and over again. Like, for example, sometimes when his dog is misbehaving, he says,
That's it, you little squid.
"You little squid." So it's a quote from a movie. It's from
Treasure Planet.
a Disney's Treasure Planet, kind of obscure movie. But we have fun quotes that we say. They're comfort quotes. And what's great about them is that they're not perseverations. That happens too. They're not perseverations. They're quotes that we say over and over again, and the challenge is to find the right place to say it. You can't just say, "Okay, you little squid," to, someone you just met. You say it when your dog is misbehaving, right?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. This is you. You have an insatiable curiosity, and we have to keep giving you opportunities to find those answers.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit about some of your favorite things to do. Okay, go ahead.
Visit the library, read books, vocabulary development. I'm a Google warrior. As my sister's boyfriend John likes to call me. He says Google warrior.
He's been told he's a Google warrior.
Yeah.
Meaning every time he has a question, he goes to Google to find the answer. Yeah.
Experiences, acknowledgement.
And he
It's my
loves
website up here.
And he loves to share. Ano means yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we're not going.
What happened?
I don't know. Anyway, he has a website where he reviews movies, he reviews experiences, he shows all of his insatiable curiosity. And we're just going to give you a quick show. It's down one more. Here you go. Just know, he curates a website of all his favorites, and it's really fun to learn about.
Actually, you created, not
I created it, but you curate it. Yeah, there it was. It came up and then it went away. Here we go. Maybe not. It's okay. If it doesn't come up, it's fine. It's very special. Oh, okay. So here's his website. It's called Sammy Supreme. Sammy Reviews the World. Tells a little bit about himself. And then these are all hot links. Pixar movies he's graded, DreamWorks movies. Sometimes when a movie has an anniversary, he makes an anniversary. Because we live right near Walt Disney World and he works for Walt Disney World, he tells you, don't miss this, things not to miss. And you can see as it goes on, he's a very active guy. And this is one way he can show his curiosity and show the world, what he's capable of. And then we'll just grab our last slide and we'll be done. And then, rehearsals are very important for us. I know it might be hard to believe, but we have rehearsed this talk probably 15, 20 times to prepare and review the slides.
Yeah, we did.
Right? And rehearsals are critically important for us. And as a marker goal, rehearsing over and over again. I typically instigate it. I usually plan it. But there's a point now when Sammy gets in my car at the end of the day after work and he says,
sit rep, I have to tell everything I did at work.
Sit rep, situation report. So he has to go through everything that he did at work that day.
Yeah.
He does a great job of explaining it, and I also, as a mother, feel that much safer because I know that he was in a safe environment and people cared for him, and he was able to do a really good job working for Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So that is our presentation. We thank you for coming today. And we're here for questions if you have any. And if you don't have questions, that is fine. Come and talk to us later during the conference. We'd love to tell you more about what we've been working on and how much more we have to do.
Thank you so much for presenting. Since there are no questions, we can take a coffee break. Please don't forget to drink because it's really hot today. And the next presentation will start at 11:10.